Oh, going live. I thought haven't done a live stream in a good while. I thought, you know what? I'll have an old Kel Surprise job. It's 2 in the morning here now, and I thought to myself, do you know what? I could continue on writing the Hardy book, and she's available because I uploaded her. But I tell you this, hey, I might hang out and do a bit of talking to you. Oh ho ho hey. Oh ho ho hey. A lot of bad stuff going on around the fucking globe nowadays, man. We got TQ in the house. Man, TQ, Capitol Hill Stormtroopers job. Well, Shawneen, Andrew Cornelius, Star, he says. Jackson Avon, how you doing, hey? Any crack? The world is fucked, lads. The world is fucked. As Tommy Tiernan once said about the two towers there in Lord of the Rings up in New York that time, fucking. So running the boys. Don McDonough. Who's this now? Alpo Air. Owl Trump up to mischief, hey. Kevin Ian Murphy, quick check who still has a Twitter account. Oh man. Tyler Schuler, how's it going, man? How's things? What's the crack, Martin? Trying to sail the podium I robbed from the Capitol House. Your man who stole the podium out of I doubt he stole it. I just think he walked in, picked it up. He looked across between myself and Stevie Price, who played CSI Steve. How are you getting on? How are you getting on? It's on eBay. I seen it was on eBay, going for 77 clams. It'll look nice in the living room, that would. Shawnee in Torrington, Story Martin, are you doing dry January? Oh yeah, I'll be doing dry January, all right. What's the crack, Martin? That's Roger Mark. The crack is all right, mate. The crack's all right. I've been writing the next installment of the Hardy book, and tonight was just basically spent. A lot of chatting was done on the phone. Like a lot of chatting was done on the phone. I was catching up with some good friends, and I thought to myself, let's get this job done. Let's talk to the crowd. Keep in touch. Jadine, how are you getting on? More like Canuary. I like that one, Jadine. Oh, wet Canuary. TQ. Chop flapping on the old dog and bone. Fucking damn right. I do spend a concerning amount of time on the phone, and it's like fucking getting back to people. To all the boys and girls in the Discord group, I haven't forgotten about you. I know you're there. It's fucking WhatsApp, Facebook, fucking Twitter, and I just think Twitter, man. I can't fucking. I'm really close to just pulling the fucking plug on that because it's just, it's one of the most biased fucking platforms. I mean, you want to go somewhere where it's like you can see both sides of the story, but it's one of the most insanely, it's fucking deranged. Like it's fucked up. Obviously a lot of shit has happened this week. Where do you begin? I saw a funny meme about the boys in Capitol Hill where they were saying, these guys smashed windows just to walk inside the red ropes. I mean, it had to be one of the most respectful. I mean, you had people like Chuck Schumer, who is a fucking wrongin', man, and you got people comparing it to 9/11, which I think is one of the most fucking over. It was a bunch of people broke in to the Capitol Hill. They were fucking let walk in. Do you know what I mean? Just they walked in, smashed a couple of windows. A woman got shot. It just looked like a bunch of fucking lads hanging out, really, and they're calling it. There's something going on behind the scenes there, man. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Twitter is, according to Donna with Donna, Twitter is the most toxic platform ever. But every now and again, there'll be hilarious content, usually in times of turmoil. Yeah, and that's why we do it. We're prisoners of our own device. That keeps you coming back for more. Absolutely. Please, Tyler says, please realize how entirely laughable it is that any member of the government of the United States would be lecturing an American people about how violence is bad. Yeah, you have Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama, who have overseen the deaths of tens of millions of people across the Middle East, and they're fucking saying they're saying it's one of the worst things ever. I mean, the fuck off, lads. Do you know what I mean? It's war is just fucking orchestrated murder, mass murder. It's like, and they're fucking happy enough to keep the war machine going, keep the lobbyists going. What I think would be amazing is if the Bernie bros and the Trump supporters, the MAGA dudes, join forces, and the lads who are disillusioned with BLM, just everyone get together and just fucking, man, like, they all deserve a better country. That at the end of the day, they have more in common with each other than they think. They're fucking, all their tax dollars are going to, I mean, like, if you think about it, since March, they've got I think it's like 12 I think it's 1,800 in stimulus package money. It's fucking insane, man. I mean, it just seems like when you go on Twitter and then you go on YouTube, it's like a complete schism of reality. You have one side who vehemently believes that they're right, and as does the other side, and you're kind of like, how the hell is that supposed to remedy itself? And a lot of people might be like, well, what's my gripe with American politics? But it's like, if America falls, man, then it's going to have a domino effect across the Western world. And I quite like what is left of freedom and democracy, and the majority of American people are sound. Like, I've lived there, and I've just, man, they just need to get rid of all these fucking cronies, man. Berlin Ocelot agrees. Yeah, man, look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what your political beliefs are, what the colour of your skin is, what religion you are. We all have the same needs at the end of the day, and that's just to feel that you can provide for yourself and your family, and you have a future. You can see, like in America, the pursuit of happiness, to prosper. And I think since the fucking Federal Reserve was signed in sneakily under Woodrow Wilson in 1913, it's just Nixon taking the dollar off the gold standard, just been one big incremental slide into poverty. You go through like Trenton and New Jersey on the way to Philly when you're taking the train, and you're looking at all these old buildings from the Art Deco era, and these like accolades of the boom of the past, and the roaring 20s and whatnot, and now you're looking at it's the wasteland, man. It's all a game, says Kevin Murphy. It is a game, man. Like, when you had lads in World War One killing each other in the trenches, you had leaders of opposing countries sending each other letters about like the state of the garden, and for the elite at the top, it's always a game, and it's proper all out warfare for people in the bottom. And it's, I was actually watching a documentary last night with the Great War in colour, and you look at the parallels of what life was like before then. You had everybody who was, there was a feudalism where, men and women were working in shit conditions for very little, and you had this upper class that were just living it up, and there was a lot of discontent. But who were the people who ended up fucking giving their lifeblood? The poor. So something's got to change, man. And I think mainstream media and big tech are they have people under like a mass hypnosis. It's insane. But I don't want to dwell too much on this stuff, but it's kind of hard to ignore because it's everywhere you look. And I just think, like, you need real journalists, and they haven't pardoned Assange. It was nice to see he's not going to be sent to the States. And remember, Assange wasn't jailed for giving away state secrets. He was revealing state crimes, Abu Ghraib and all this kind of shit, and yeah, I could go on for fucking hours talking shit about that. Am I going to be able to fix it? Who knows? Story lad, spotted you while catching up on Vikings the other night. What was it like working on a production like that? Asked Donald Cotter. It was great crack, man. It was the crew were really nice. Cast was great. You got fed nicely. There was a lovely canteen staff. Omelets, they just knock you up an omelette, nice bit of lunch. And then you'd see lads from, like I met your man, the first day I met your man Björn as, was it Alexander Ludwig, as I was walking up the stairs and he was just dressed in full Viking club. And I was like, how's it going, man? He's like, hey, how you doing? I was just like, it's really funny because there's a lot of very gory and intense violence in Vikings, but yet there's such a really chilled out family feeling when you're on the set. But I'd love to get a crack at Valhalla. Pantera guy, any tips on how to take down the COVID vaccine with a swift attack? Yeah, it's just like you see, there's a couple of people I've been talking to recently, and they're like, oh yeah, they're gonna make this vaccine. They're gonna lean on workplaces to make sure that their staff take the jab, and it's like it'll never. Oh, what's it? Tubridy on the Late Late Show tonight, pushing more vaccine propaganda and basically calling Trump supporters Nazis. How can you call 85 or like fucking 80 million people Nazis? I mean, this is just it's so fucking out of hand. Like, okay, I'll like plus points about Trump. He seemed to have been tough on China because it does seem like China has behind the scenes, like they've been. I remember watching I'll just start on this tangent, watching a documentary about the cartels in Mexico, and they were saying, oh yeah, we there was this like I don't know if it was El Chapo who was running the gaff at the time, but they had this coal mine in Mexico, and they were like, yeah, we just sell to the Chinese. The Chinese are businessmen. They come in, they don't judge. Like it was a coal mine run and operated by the cartels, and they were like, yeah, how much? Shake the hands, cheers, we'll have that. It's like the coltan in Congo. It's like the only place in the world where that green stuff you get in computers and phones is called coltan. They just go there, and it's like, yeah, rebels committing fucking heinous crimes. Sure, yeah, it's none of our business. We'll just take the minerals and here's a few quid. So like they've been going around like, you know, where is it, Darfur as well. They were they go in there. They'll build roads, pump out the. So basically, there's nothing apart from these well paved roads. Just pump the oil out of oil refineries and ship them off. So like so they've been operating like that. Apparently, you know some of the CCP party members have infiltrated senior positions all across the West. And you have to say, in fairness to the Chinese, man, they keep to themselves generally, and they graft, you know, and they're not into kind of like rampant individualism that we have here in the West these days. And fucking yeah, so basically, yeah, there was an awful lot of our of European and American jobs have gone to China, and it's not like they're paying their own people good cash. Do you know what I mean? They're you've got Uyghurs and who are basically political prisoners, working for. They eat dogs though. Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I just didn't want to go to China. Got the hairy lad here beside me. I love dogs very much. Wouldn't want to eat them though. Where was I? Fucking tangent job. Fucking yeah. So yeah, all you know, back in the day, man, in the 70s and 80s, as I've probably said this about fucking 50 times already, one parent was enough to get a job. You send your kids to college, you had a decent car. Now it's like two parents have to work, and you know it's like the pressure is constantly on. Properties going up in prices. You can't buy a gaff now. If you want to buy a house, you need a deposit of at least 50 grand. Then you're just paying off the interest. It's like this is just fucking insane amounts of pressure. And then you got like Amazon, you know, FANG, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. They like just making insane cash. So what I was saying earlier on about the parallels of World War One, all this unrest that we're seeing in America is divide and rule, man. It's just dividing people through politics and race, and it's fucked up. They know exactly what they're doing, and it's to take the heat off what they're doing at the top of the pyramid. It's a pyramid of power,
And yeah, it's when people are so confused and pointing the finger at each other, they don't know what big tech monopolies. Yeah, they're censoring free speech. It's especially in the States. It's you know, it's unconstitutional. Your First Amendment right is basically, you know, the right to freely express yourself, and obviously, you know, everyone should. I mean, now I don't know what's happened nowadays. It's like young people just don't have the cognitive ability to entertain something they disagree with and be able to take the other person's point of view, listen to it, and go, okay, well, I you know, there's no nuanced debate now. And then if you have a thing like Twitter, which is really easy to misunderstand people, and it's just like a fractal fucking series of arguments that never ends. But yeah, Trump, good points. Economy was good for the States. He didn't start any new wars. I think it was a bad move drone striking Soleimani in Iran, and you know, he's bad points. He was great. He was talking about how great WikiLeaks was. He happily threw Assange under the bus. You know, like Alex Jones, for example. He was like, you know what, I really like what you do, Alex. This is one of the greatest platforms. You're a great patriot and whatnot. And then he was like, Alex Jones gets kicked off YouTube. Yeah, see you later. Don't need you anymore. You know, and he seems to have alienated anyone who was really backing him, and then he tells everyone to go to Capitol Hill, throws them under the bus as well. I think it's fucked, man. You know, it's very multi. Hello, Martin. Pleasure to see you again. Happy New Year to you and the fam. Thanks very much. Appreciate that. Intel and LeakSlip were horrible to work for. Yeah, I can imagine they were, man. I can imagine they were. No pardon for poor Eddie Snowden. Yeah, man. These are guys who basically help lift the lid on fucking genuinely heinous crimes. That's the job of journalism. That's like the fourth estate. That is crucial. You know, it's funny because you get all these career politicians who are like, oh, it's dangerous to democracy, and you've probably seen that video of all these news clips that are this montage of them all parroting the same talking points. Fucking mainstream mass media is the virus. It's basically a mind virus that is it's just completely bombarding people and with fear porn. Like I seen Tony Hoonahan in Ireland is now saying, the Irish health minister is saying, COVID loves alcohol. How we emer. You seen Corey lifting the podium, did you? Ho ho. See a lot of fucking sure. Ho ho. And the hamster. Yeah, but he said, oh, COVID loves drink. I'd say it feels to me that these lads are sitting around going, Jesus, man, we you know, there was the 2 weeks to flatten the curve back in March, and now it's like, basically, we just keep pumping out non-stop fear porn from mass media, and people swallow it. And it's very cynical of me to say, but I've come to the conclusion that most people are, you know, very capable of doing their own job. You know, they have general knowledge and would in their own right be intelligent, but in terms of cop on, it seems to be quite lacking in the general population. And I think that's just because you know, you have people who will watch like CNN or Fox, and they're like, yeah, we follow global events, and they would consider themselves as like quasi experts in their field. But like, if you're going off one curated source of information, then you're not getting the whole picture. You know, you're basically dissecting something that someone else has presented to you. Just sometimes I feel like we're fucked, man. As a species, we're basically, there's just no one's asking questions, and anyone who does ask questions gets shouted down by the mob on Twitter. I do feel like it's time for me to just pull the plug on Twitter. I actually deleted the app there last year, and I was like, yeah, I'm done with this, but I still go back for more. I know he's not to everyone's taste, so don't get it wrong, but Sam Hyde did a great video recently on this where he said it's basically going to be an extended and protracted period of chaos. Yeah, I think just constant chaos, man. It's if you're constantly if you have everybody in a state of just confusion and you see it's an awful thing to be able to take you're taking people's future away from them. You're basically taking people's if you can't plan for the future, if you don't know what the future holds, I mean, Ireland, like there's a lot of European countries that have been furloughed and there is wherever the fuck this money has came from or when it has to be paid back is another thing. But you look at people with businesses in America, man, like the place is a fucking powder keg. It was a powder keg ready to go off 4 years ago. And in the stimulus bill, the US government has to disclose everything about aliens and UFOs. What the fuck has that got to do with a stimulus package? It's like apparently Sri Lanka got speedboats. There's gender studies in Pakistan. Israel gets $500 million. It's just like, what about the taxpayer, man? What about the working man and woman? The world's changing. I'm moving to Russia. It's funny, like Russia, they must be looking at America now, going, you're heading for where we were, in the early 90s. I mean, like the thing is, America's kind of like, it's like the Roman Empire. It's like it's despotism at home and militarism abroad, But enough of that shite, please, because it's just basically every time I fucking go on the internet, it's like Trump, Capitol Hill, Trump, 25th Amendment, 26 bucks to Americans. You still, what's it say here? You still in shit with Boris, fucking Boris, man. Yeah, he's all right, man. I have to say, it was a very competitive interest he had on that loan, but it's paid off, boy. It's paid off. The Mitzi Turbo Cup Mark II will rise again. Cheers to you. So it's fucking 2:30 here now, but yeah, 2:30. What are you drinking? Oh, Piston Head Haze. It's cheap, it's cheerful, and it's very hoppy. Are you on the snooze? Oh, do you think I could beat Big Donny in a scrap? Big Donny the Dunesman, Aaron O'Callaghan. Hey, that's myself and Mike Cocaine we have a script that I should revisit and get finished. Basically, Danny's on the run from some mob guys over in New York City, and he's got to get out of there. So he goes to Mayo to lay low for a while. Was watching the Bucks. Was the recent Ladybird was written out? No, not really. It's kind of like you've only got a certain amount of time to just to kind of expand episodes, and sometimes you're trying to fit everyone in. For me, obviously, because I'm a good-hearted cunt, I try and get as many people in as I can, and sometimes it's just that you can't fit everyone in. But no, she wasn't written out of it. Like, unfortunately, it's just like you're kind of, when you're working with TV, you've just got to stick to a story arc, and you've watched Kev McGahan's new show. I saw they had a really exciting guest on as the first guest, virologist Luke O'Neill. I'm sure that'll be a fucking barrel of laughs. Yeah, I haven't. Fair play to Kev, man. He's it'll keep the wolf from the door. That's what I say. But no, I haven't seen it. To be quite honest with you, man, I can't deal with. I think RT programming is some of the most unimaginative. How do I phrase this? Let's say the people running the place are just go, okay, what do we need? Another panel show, another hidden camera show. I actually pitched a fucking. Let's see if I can find this. There was I pitched this probably to the wrong. I think it was RT1 Entertainment who do like Dancing with the Stars, but I actually had an idea for a kind of a Eric Andre kind of thing with the Hardy Bucks guys. Let's see if it's here. I'll check the old fucking. would have been handy just to do the laptop, but I couldn't be arsed setting up the mic. Fucking wrecked. What the fuck was the name of it, man? Got a bit distracted there. Oh yeah, The Hard Word, that was it. So I'll have a look at this. Forgot the fucking title. Must have been that good if I forgot the title. The Hard Word. Right, where are we? Oh yeah, I have it in Pages, hey. She's in Pages. Fuck it, I'll open her up. Okay, so listen to this. This is what RT turned down. It's a bit like when you watch Blind Date and you're like, oh, go for number 2. And then like number 2 comes out and it's like, oh, you know what? Let's see what you missed out with number 2. And you're like, and your man's like, oh man. Okay, so episode duration, 6 by 25-minute episodes. Show concept, The Hard Word, a new comedy talk show from the Hardy Books, a poor man's version of The Tonight Show, low-budget, faux naive approach, hosted by Martin Maloney and Owen Colgan, featured in members of the Hardy Books cast and up-and-coming Irish talent. Weekly studio set pieces, sketches accompanied by bad house band, whom can just about play music. Each week, Eddie is compelled to give them constructive criticism. Influences similar concepts. Eric Andre, 11 o'clock show this morning with Richard Not Judy. Big Train, The Fast Show. Overall, fun and irreverent collaborations of some of the finest comedians in the country. Interesting guests and quaint characters. Always good fun. Bizarre weekly challenges such as Wrestle Roulette. Announced after the break, we spin the wheel of Krull. The winner-loser must grapple with Krull, a resident wrestler. A parody of Top Gear's Stig, dressed in a Mexican wrestling mask with red velvet trunks, released from his cage, ready to tackle the selected opponent. Building up suspense for the participant, no guest or presenter can forfeit where the wheel lands. It won't get too out of hand. He'll be a professional. This will be the climax at the end of the show as we're played out by a live performance. Steering away from being too parochial, we'll keep the essence of the original Irish comedy, keeping it accessible to an overseas audience. See, thinking beyond that, yeah? Utilising YouTube and social media to our advantage. Set design, intentionally lo-fi black studio with white chairs and shoddily made balsa wood fixtures used in slapstick stunts, filmed in front of a small studio audience. For comedy effect, we'll cut in a range of different crowds, Golden Globes, Oscars, UN Summit. So basically the idea would be like, something would be happening and there'd be a round of applause and just cuts to like, you know, the Oscars or something. Some guests will be real. Oh, Shawnee, my man. Crowdsourcing for the fight with yourself and Jake Paul. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I haven't heard back from Jake Paul about that. I think he babbered his britches when he found out that there was a big bearded ginger lad from Mayo who was going to fucking give him the people's elbow. You should have got U2 for the pilot. Yeah, you know, Bono could have came in. It sounds like a great show. Hey, Martin, says Zach Quinn. How are you, Zach? How's it going, bud? What was your favourite scene? Mate, that's a pretty generic question. Favourite scene? I don't know, mate. I don't fucking know, mate. But it's a hard one to fucking, you know. I'm in the middle of pitching this, you know what I mean? It's like, if there's any lads out there who've got a few bob to throw into this, you know, the fucking you need it this time of the, you know, people need cheering up. So here we go. Running order, episode. Opening titles, 20 seconds. Quaint mix of daft lads bopping to 90s Irish dance music. Old men on the street corners. Souped up Japanese hatchbacks with massive spoilers. Crows flying about a pissy looking sky. Run down streets capturing the drudgery of rough towns. Hard men and Danny Dyer intercut with sketches from the series. Opening studio, pan left to the centre house. Dressed as a 70s show band, leads with a bad cover of Smoke on the Water. Kev McGahern, aka Simcard, is the band leader. Eddie says,
Jesus, lads, this is your big break. You could have at least tuned up before playing, lads. Character intros followed by weekly review of current events and pop culture. The Buzz. Buzz McDonald discusses news from the entertainment world with all the latest gossip, starting with Kanye West and finishing with Crystal Swing. Salmon's Eye. Mikey Salmon discusses the week in local and global politics, covering exciting news segments in his monotone, droll fashion. He doesn't really understand the topics he's covering, just reading badly from a teleprompter, which he will mess around with as he tries to read. Culture Toast. French Toast. O'Toole gives us a slice of highbrow culture. It's edited to look like Euronews Le Mag. A core on Glay Music. Episode 1, French Toast goes wine tasting in Hedonism Wines in Mayfair, London. The upmarket wine emporium is owned by former Russian telecom magnate Yevgeny Chichvarkin, who I did meet and hung out at his very prestigious shop once. Sonchkin, quirky bastard, who gives us the latest lowdown in the world of fine wines. Of course, it all descends into chaos with French Toast being ejected from the premises for sculling a 200 grand bottle of Chateau Lafite. Someone said a section of UFOs with Danny Diamond. This was pre-Cowboy getting involved, actually. This was... When did I send this? This was sent in the 28th of February 2009. So, Sketch, Slave Baby, a pretentious, struggling, insincere indie band who will jump onto any political cause to gain fame points. Featuring myself, McGahern, Tordoff, and Gary Carroll with cameos from well-known artists and comedians. Guest interview, Eddie and Buzz interviewed Dean Gaffney. Buzz keeps calling him Dwayne by mistake. What's the crack with Wellard? When did he croak? And how did you get over the grief? Yeah, I mean, it goes on, but I might just pitch that to RT myself and go, look, RT, you need a fucking shot of something fucking solid, mate, you know what I mean? Yeah, no, that's I'm not detracting from McGahon's show, by the way, when I say that. It's just you want something with a bit of fucking life, man. Do you know what I mean? Some wild shit, you know. And I think RTE, like, I'm amazed they took the punt on us. Would watch that over Hot Garbage on Netflix right now. Yeah, Hot Garbage is right. 2009, it still plays. What's the crack there, Shawnee? Missed out there. Yeah, so I didn't mean to get too engrossed in world politics, but it's kind of fucking hard not to talk about it. I mean, I thought I'd have to at least talk about it. I don't know. Yeah, it's a very fucking weird scene where there's multiple realities at play. Killian Wallace, oh shit, he fucking got me this days, man. He's fucking all right up the mountains, man. Fucking Tibet boys, Dalai Lama, fucking took him for a few fucking laps around the town. Hardy Book, episode 4 should be out within the week. It's got a lot of shit to get through at the moment. It's kind of difficult sometimes because much like how I am when talking, I'll go off on an old stream of consciousness rant. I'm like that with a book, so I'll go back and I'll be like, start editing, and then I've already had a stream of consciousness within a stream of consciousness within a subject. So I'll tie it all in. Once I tie it all in, I'll do it and I'll make it nice. How much is the average cost of that, Martin? How much for a show like that? The one I just pitched, or the man, you could do it in studio for, you know, say fucking. It's the thing is, like, if I had Tordoff involved producing that, like, we were experts at doing this shit for like a shoestring. You know, we could get a. There's one thing I learned from watching the documentary about the making of Apocalypse Now was Francis Ford Coppola said you can do a lot with very little if you know how to spend it. So basically he remortgaged his vineyard and made Apocalypse Now in the Philippines, and he did it rough and ready. So basically, yeah, I reckon you get that fucking for about 150 grand. And I'd say, I mean, look at Eric Andre's show. You know, he's got some like bits on the street. You're talking a couple of days filming on the street for some of those sketches. Wardrobe is like a fluorescent green top, and then you just make like you obviously get a good props department who are good at making shoddy looking stuff. What did Tordoff bring to the table in terms of producing, not being a jerk? Well, Well, like not directly, let's say not directly producing, but he was willing to be able to just go, yeah, do we need that? And we were kind of in concord about our opinions. We like the pair of us were exactly on the same page, and you don't need to. You don't need to get a load of people in on the, because the union says so. You can do things yourself independently. But yeah, if I'll look into it and see if I can get that. I shouldn't give up on that. Occam's Brood, how you doing? Government thinking about limiting off license sales hours. Ireland, any restrictions in Sweden? Yeah, there's 8 o'clock. Pubs are closed, and that's about it really. But this shit about fucking what are the pissheads supposed to do? I mean, there's people who actually need the drink. There's lads who didn't eat the breakfast with the fear they couldn't drink the can. Why did they turn it down, lad? What changed with RT comedy in the last 10 years? Well, I think first of all, I pitched it to the wrong department. It was entertainment, but it was like the guys who do like Dancing with the Stars and whatnot. So I think I pitched it to the wrong job. And then afterwards, I was too busy with writing the Vicar Street gig. Crowdsource that biatch on spec, man. Do you know what?
Yeah, you could probably easily crowdsource it, but it's just basically getting the word out there. But yeah, crowdsource it. I might just do it because I really want to make something, man. It's like the acting is dried up, unless you're a special boy with a great agent. Ooh, there's a lovely drama coming up and it's got your name on it. You don't even need to do the audition because they want you because you've been in 19 great films. Mark Shortall, I honestly think RT would ruin that show. It's too good for the art. Thanks, Mark. Yeah. Maybe there's, like back in the day you had Bravo, which is where Danny Dyer's Most Deadliest Men came from. It's like, I'm Danny Dyer, I'm at Burnley hanging out with a Burnley fern. Or the Burnley firm, they're well dodgy. I'll get a little bit scared that my bumhole's flapping a bit. New Hardy Books crowdsourcing would work for sure. Pascal, that's true, but would you be able to get enough people? Would you be able to get the word out? Like, look at this. I'm one of the main characters from Hardy Books. Yeah, only 3.2% or 3.2 thousand people know about this channel. Yeah, I've got like Instagram, but it's like when we started off in the old days with Hardy Books, social media was a new phenomena, and we were lucky enough to get in there with getting the word out before it started. Unless maybe you can do a bit of just pay for a few sponsors, man. Speculate to accumulate. Any thoughts on the big dicks in Silicon Valley making a coup on the US government because the big lad was too much of a funny cunt for the soft shites? If they can censor the speech of, like, whether you love him or hate him or you're indifferent to him, it is fucking concerning, man, that a social media platform can arbitrarily silence the fucking leader of the free world. I think that's really a sign of how power. I mean, look, you've got corporations who are like way more wealthy than nation states. These monopolies need to be broken up, man. And I've talked to friends who work in Amazon who totally agree. They're like, it needs to be decentralized. It's fucking crazy. Like, you can't have that much power and then think it's not going to end up being abused. Like a huge centralization of power just leads to abuse of power, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. For good or bad, social media was the worst thing to happen to humanity. Well, you know what? We were all getting on brilliantly before social media came along. Like, there was a lot of good points to it, but I think the bad points are starting to outweigh the good. It's like we walked into this shit blindly going, oh yeah, I'm going to put pictures of my family and I have all these. Just trust Google and Facebook with your fucking intimate details and interactions with people. It's how the fuck would we be so naive? It's insane, especially when you hear that the internet was created by DARPA. Tyler Schuler says, What to say? Pascal says social media is the death knell for society. It is, mate, and the same thing is, it's like it's also brought all of us together. Tyler Schuler says they gave Mike Pence a coin after he confirmed Biden. Inside source says the man that handed him said the coin will get you to the island. The fuck does that mean? Is it some sort of River of Styx reference, was it? And how will we all be killed? By kindness. Good one, Sean. Epstein's Island. Where there was only landlines. Yeah, I mean, early days mobile phones were all right. You know, the days where like lads would be sending pictures of women's bodies by basically taking a bracket with a full stop in it, followed by a closing bracket, followed by another bracket with another dot and another bracket to make a pair of breasts. And then on the line underneath it, you'd have another bracket facing, a closing bracket, space, and another bracket, and then you do the other one and make a pair of hips, but you'd put a Y in between the hips, and that's as far as you go. But you got some real connoisseurs who are really good at making faces as well. It's a good skill to have back in the day when lads were playing Snake on the fucking 5110. I went to Ireland 2010, says Tyler, and even though the housing market collapsed, had great crack then, social media just started and Facebook was a meetup before the pub. Yeah, that was it. It was just a way of keeping in touch with mates and people you haven't seen. Shawnee, fair play to you, mate. Could you go one further and get the waist and the hips in there? Glad. What are you sipping tonight? Bit of old, hold on. Oh, I needed that. Piston Head. Nice little, it was a story about a bunch of craft beer hipsters who went to this massive brewery called Spendrups, and they said, look, we've got a fucking beer. We got a beer that's cheap to make, maximum taste, and it's organic. And by fuck, they sell that for €1 each, about $1 each for that, man. It's the bee's knees. Do you like Excelsior? Is that one of the Aldi jobs? Fucking Galahad. Tell me this: who's getting onto the Hardy book? Anyone listen to that stuff? It's good stuff. Wait until number 4 comes out. I've got to the stage now where I just don't give a fuck anymore, and I'm really enjoying because there was an awful lot of censoring. I'm like, it's supposed to be a character, man. It's supposed to be comedy, and I'm like, I'm just gonna write what a character from what Eddie Durkin, a man who's basically lived his life in Swinford, hanging out with, not Swinford, in Castletown, this fictional town full of absolute hard nutters, would say and do, the same way we did when we went on to the Brendan O'Connor show. If any of you internet sleuths can find the Hardy Books appearance on the Brendan O'Connor show, please send that on to me, because that's gone, man. Someone took it down, but at the time we got so much flack from fucking dry bastards going, oh my god, they dropped the ball there, like those Hardy Books lads. We were in character, and we did such a good job of it, unrehearsed, that they were like, they believed that we were real headers. My mate Liam McGowan downs that Excelsior stuff. Fair play to Liam McGowan, man. He knows his fucking onions. Get inside Eddie's head. Yeah, get inside Eddie's head's fucking brilliant crack, man. Like, some of it's like stuff from personal experiences, rumors you'd hear around the place, but a lot of it is just like, just expanding on the show, you know, and Brendan wasn't impressed, said Rachel Coyne. I remember meeting Brendan earlier on, and I was having the crack with him, and he's like, gee, boys know what you're saying now when you're going on, and all right, great. And we were like, yeah, Brendan, yeah, it's fine, yeah. We were like, all polite. And then when we went into character, I could just see, he was only starting off, man, and I could see the fear in his eyes and of like, shit, we're losing this. And I was intending on ripping down the set, but then I was like, I'll probably get the bill for this. I wanted to go pure Ollie Reed on it. Liam Wilson says, listen to Eps 1 and 2. Haven't listened to episode 3 yet, but it's great stuff, man. Is just going to be an Eddie Durkin job, or any plans to get any of the other lads on it? I was thinking about it, I was thinking about maybe, but again, look, why complicate it when it's my thing? You know what I mean? It'd be like, oh, I think I'm gonna stick to it. Maybe voice other people myself. Remember you and the boys on Brendan O'Connor show, Price and stuff. Yeah, it was great crack. Great fucking session afterwards. I was gonna say something else about that now. Opinion on Hart Blogger. The Hardy Books is some job, man. The modern day Patrick Kavanagh. Wink and elbow. Well, this is like for me, it does feel very much like something Patrick Kavanagh would do, because it feels like I don't mean, it sums up like the modern day cross section of maybe like from 10 years ago. But the nice thing is about writing the book is you can take Eddie Durkin to any age, whereas you can't do that in the show because people would be like, oh, they're too old for that now, you know. There was something about the beer there. Oh yeah, episode 3 gets Liam. Episode 3, mate. You're gonna put it on after this, and if you're going for no lie down in Bobos, stick the headphones in, sit back, and enjoy. Yeah, keep it to your own podcast. Yeah, I'm just gonna fucking I'm gonna keep doing it myself. You know, it's nice for me to do this because there's no compromising. There's no there's no round table discussions that sometimes get heated. Like there was a couple of years ago, I think it was like we were doing a tour of England and we hated the fucking meetups before we do because it was just the pressure of doing these live shows, pure ASMR Swinford style. That's the crap. I was actually thinking about doing the way you have like calm. I'm going to take you to a gorgeous place, a lodge in the mountains. You know, this kind of stuff. Well, I'm thinking maybe I should do just like bedtime stuff of Eddie Durkin going, there's boys round town. They said they'd do anything for you. Good lads. They come down and help your old lady out with the shopping. Don't be stuck for anything now round the town. If you need a lift, we'll take you to Castle Bar, no bother. Oh, don't worry about that. just talk about like, did you see the game the other night? Oh, the points are nearly level. Did you fuck? Your man's gone to Australia. He's out in Melbourne. What's he doing in Melbourne? Driving a digger. Oh, what's he doing with the digger? Oh, laying pipe. What's he at after that? He's heading off on placement in some farm up in Darwin. He's going picking pineapples. Is he? Mikey Reinhardt. Hardy Book is class. Mikey Reinhardt, thank you very much, mate. God bless Mikey Reinhardt, boy. That man is a fucking dedicated patron of the arts. I appreciate that, Mikey, and you're a fucking legend, mate. I was going to say, oh yeah, pineapples, is it? I was talking to a boy on the way back from Australia called Richard once. He was telling me about time he fucking worked up in Darwin, picking old pineapples with a machete. You gotta watch out for those fucking taipan and brown snakes, because they curl up at the bottom of the pineapple. Oh! So yeah, I could do that kind of stuff and just talk shite for about an hour. If you have a listen, myself and Tordoff and the boys, well, especially me and Tordoff really, back in the day, we used to listen to American Prayer by Jim Morrison and the Doors. If you haven't heard this, again, it's a lovely, lovely, it's just Jim Morrison talk. Some of it's very profound. A lot of it's fucking pub talk, like, good day, mama. You hear me talking about Australia, did you? What then under? Yes, you can. Did you ever see the film Chopper with, I tell you, Eric Bana? I always had a lot of deep respect for Eric Bana as an actor. He started off in a show in the 90s, a sketch show called Full Frontal. There's a sketch they did where it's like, Sting sings 30 party songs. And it's like, instead of like Roxanne, it's like, I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. But he just takes all these like well-known kids party songs and does them in the style of the Police. Mitchell Shipton. How are you, Mitchell? I had the thoughts on the American stuff in the beginning of the video, so when I'm done, watch that. Just to recap, I think it's fucking crazy, man. I think everyone needs to cop on and just put representatives who give a shit about the people. You know, I can't understand these fucking people who are on like $180 a year, $180,000 a year, right? Which is a fucking decent amount to make. A couple of years, like 20 years of that, you're a millionaire. Comfortably a millionaire. But then, like, some of them are worth hundreds of fucking millions of dollars, and you're like, well, how did that happen? And you got lobbyists going, here, take that slush fund job, yeah? Here, buy this crack. When a child asks me why it rains, I tell them it's because God is sad. And it's because something you did, says Shawnee. Oh, by the way, yesterday, I was out with the kids and doing a bit of sledging on the slopes. And my daughter goes, Daddy, look. And I look over and there's a woman, there's a frozen pond, and there's a woman rescuing her child, trying to, like, she had, maybe it was like a 4-year-old, 3 or 4-year-old, same age as my own lad, maybe a bit younger, fucking half in the ice, half in the water. And I just fucking legged it over like a David Hasselhoff job, straight into the ice in the water, and pull out the child. And then the kids are freaking out, and I'm like, look, it's fine, you're all right. I said, you've got to be careful. You learned a very important lesson about ice and water. It's very dangerous. And then the mother was like, where's the glove? Where's the glove? I was like, I bought this like €4 torch, and I put on my key ring, and I was like, here, have a look with this. So she pulled out the torch and gave it to her. Felt like a right legend. Then went up to my daughter afterwards, and I gave her a fist pump, and I said, proud of you. You've got a cool head in a crisis situation. She goes, you always say this to me. I'm like, yeah, because I'm proud of you. She goes, gives me a weird feeling in my belly. I'm like, yeah, that's pride, man. That's a good thing. That's that's something you should be. That's to let you know you're on the right track. But it's good, man. It's I was in the gym a few weeks ago, and I was in the shower, and I was I just come out the shower, and I barely had the towel wrapped around me, and I heard this from the gym, and I was like, what the fuck? Thought someone had got into trouble, so I legged it out with the fucking towel hanging off and the flute hanging off, and the lad had come out and everything, and I was stood there in the gym, and this lad's been put through the paces by his personal trainer. Thought he was crying for help. So the personal trainer, I said, is everything all right? And she was like, yeah, he was just pushing for the burn. I was like, I'll push you for the burn. Ha ha. I didn't say that, but yeah, I'm the kind of fucking man who just like, I'd like to. I mean, it's been proven a few times. Like, if there's a bit like Tom Cruise being a Scientologist. Like, if there's a scene and people are in need of assistance, pics or it didn't happen, you're just gonna have to fucking take my word for that shit. But I tell you this, I bullshit no one. And that's gospel, according to fucking Maloney here. Top job. Yeah, so that was the crack, yeah. Fionn Dalton says, not all heroes wear capes, hey. I know a few boys who wear capes. Lads in Rome. Nice silky purple jobs. You've cheered me up no end. Mama Duck, man. Proper job. A friend of mine has just said, no, I sold my car. Oh, no. Wait, hold on a second. I'll look at that later on. It was an in-joke. But what time is it now? It's 3:05. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spend an hour cracking on and trying to get the old Hardy book finished. Michael Shipton, Martin, I hope you are doing well. Signing off. Peace out, brother. Michaeline, good night, God bless, mate. And please do if you haven't given the old like. I don't even know if it makes any fucking difference, to be honest with you. Like, if it's like, share, and subscribe, dude. You know, I should get one of these little things with like you put on the videos like subscribe. Gone an hour and not one mention of bumming. It's been you know what, it's never say never, Sean. Never say never. Is the Hardy Bucks coming back? Josh Hayes.
It's written in the fucking tea leaves, man. But we have yet to drink the tea to find out.
When is the Pimblett interview out? Yeah, fucking hell, I've got to get that done as well. He's a sound owl skin, is Paddy Pimblett. A good proper scouse job. Oh, fight the algorithm, lads, yeah. But look, again, I'm just, if you've got good sound mates, just fucking good mates, and you think they could benefit from watching this channel, man, get on the, get them on, man. Get them onto the subscription job. Good night, Berlin Ocelot. Take care, mate. Alles ist gut. Guten Nacht. Auf Wiedersehen. Yeah, so I just find it really strange how it's just been so slow. But to be honest with you, I do enjoy just kind of keeping it nice and chilled on this channel. It's a nice little touch. I saw the lad fight and win the belt. Fair play. Did you see that live? Did you? Yeah, I was talking to him. I was like, so what belt are you in jiu-jitsu? And he's like, I'm a black belt. And I was like, oh yeah, fucking hell, man. Great man for the research. I mean, I tried researching it, but it's just like, time is fucking tight at the moment, man. It's very tight, and I'm doing my best, but it's literally when your kids are like mini versions of yourself, and you yourself are, you know, you're like discipline. It's just like a trifecta of complete madness. I can see why the ex-wife couldn't fucking hack it no more. Myself and the self are very tight. We still love each other, but couldn't fucking continue on in matrimony. Yeah, it's a post-divorce life, man. It's a strange place to be. It's like, the thing is with me, it's always like, of course, you know, it had to happen to me. You know what I mean? It's like good night to you, Martin. Mark Shortall, good night, mate. Delighted to catch the stream. When he's streaming next? Good fucking question. I might do one Tuesday. Usually I'm better than pre-divorce. Yeah, you know what? It's just, it gets to a stage where it's just fucking like, you're threatening. It's like, oh yeah, I'll fucking, yeah. Well, you heard you want a divorce? Yeah, I split up. And then the day it comes and it's all like, and then it's fucking, what can you do? Like, any relationship I've ever had, I can safely say, I can always pick up a phone and ring them. You know what I mean? It's I kind of look at divorces or breakups. You know, like the things maybe because of external factors might it just doesn't work out logistically or geographically. Read my book, Memoirs of a Barber, Guide to Divorce. It's on Amazon. Send me the old ebook there, Tyler, on WhatsApp. Yeah, you know, I was actually thinking about this recently because you know, I have endured my fair bit of, like most of you, fair share of heartache. And I was thinking about doing like a video, just throw it out there, just for people who are going through a breakup, because I think breakups are fucking, man, they're the driving factor behind some of the greatest artwork known to man. Do an old Minecraft stream. I don't play Minecraft. I like that's some. It was one of those things that just kind of came out, but I was too old, like Pokemon or something, you know, like, but it becomes a major part of pop culture. My daughter was playing Minecraft there, and I was like, so what's the deal here? I seen like some mad bastards had dedicated like 7 years to building a complete like a city that looked like New York. All the crack is in starting and not knowing. Fair enough. I get that. That's kind of like how I am. Default mode is like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to get something. My 4-year-old plays it. It's with Mad Looking Sheep, yeah. It's a bit like, I got really into playing Fallout 4 and building loads of settlements, and spent fucking hours and hours just like building nice gaffs and making sure everyone was all cozy and, you know, decorating the place. And Where are they now, man? Do a Red Dead 2? Yeah, I still have to get round to that. I've been playing a lot of Days Gone, man. That like tonight was a triple fucking decision. It was like, if I play Days Gone, then I'm not gonna get any work done. If I do a stream, it's gonna be nice to hang out with the fucking crew. And I think that was, for me, that was important because I haven't done one since before Christmas. And I do really enjoy catching up with you all. And or do the Hardy book. And I'm thinking, if I give this the old the button now in a few minutes and then just crack on. Knowing me, I'm such a mad cunt that I'll probably do the voiceover bit, but then I'll have to add tunes. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But I do think that I'm actually going to do a video on coping with breakups, you know, like a year on, or, you know, from the comfort of the old adage, the biblical adage, the pearl of wisdom that is, this too shall pass, is something that for all situations you have to, you know, remember that, yeah, this too shall pass. One way or another, you know, it will, you know, it's ups and downs, man. But yeah, so Josh Hayes kind of going through one now, lad, ironically. Well, look, Josh, you know what, mate, if this is for you or anyone else who's seeing this, I'll dispense some wisdom of basically from the horse's mouth. So basically, you know, it's almost like, you know, you've got there's the various different stages of the denial and the bargaining. And if you're going through a divorce or if you're going through a breakup, and it doesn't matter at what age in life you are, if you're, you know, rejection is, human beings react to a breakup the same way they do physical pain. And I think that's maybe us as a tribal species or a communal species needs the group for survival. And that's why, like, when people get bullied on the internet, it affects them on a deep level. And it, you know, you've got teenagers now who are faced with social media, you know, it's like, or even if you're just bullied, it's not nice to be it's not nice to be at the center of negativity. And it's something that definitely affects the adrenaline and the what's the fucking name of the amygdala in the brain, the fight or flight, and it causes a lot of stress, and the body basically is going, what's going on? And if you have lost the center of your affection, the endorphins you get from being together and having that support and love and the routine of meeting each other is taken away from you suddenly, then your everything is thrown out of whack. Your chemicals, your hormones, your routines, your well-being. My advice, Josh, if you're going through this, mate, yeah, try and get as much exercise as possible, and it's going to be hard to sleep. So maybe go to the health store and get some melatonin and help yourself sleep at night, and just hang out with good people. I mean, that's it. Like, you probably have friends who have yeah, it's the same as a drug withdrawal, Sean. If you're, you know, basically you see, if you know, you get mates who are like, they get a girlfriend or a boyfriend and that's it, then you don't see them anymore. And I think it's not because they are doing it to be like, oh yeah, see you later, I've got a girlfriend or a boyfriend now and they've gone. I think it's just the fact that they feel like once you enter a relationship, you kind of have to be there with them for, you know, there's a certain degree of diplomacy depending on how tight you are. COVID has many people stuck in the house with partners they'd separate from under normal circumstances. It's awful being around someone who wants to be with someone else. Fuck yeah, that is a tough. I'm sure that's happening, or basically it has exasperated any underlying. Imagine you have people who are stuck in apartments with each other, and Kevin Collins, good crew here, all right, nice little community, man. You're fucking legends. You really are a great bunch. you know, and for me personally, I take it as the ultimate compliment that you you know, that you come and listen to me, because you know, like it really, you know, is a nice reaffirmation that I'm talking some sense. But yeah, basically, yeah, the crack of living with someone, you know, if you like, I think in places where, like in the city, when you're living in I think couples who live in the countryside have a better chance of staying together than couples in the city, because there's more space in the country, there's less pressure, there's less distractions, there's less temptations, and you know, you have the space to kind of, you know, if you're living in a house in the country, you've stuff around the house you've got to get on with. Whereas, yeah, I can imagine people who are locked down in the city are just like, oh fuck, I've heard this story about fucking 7 times. But yeah, look, anyone who's going through a breakup, a painful breakup, it gets better with, man. You know, it's a cliched thing to say, but time is a great healer, and you'll always have the scar, and you'll always, like, you know, with the passing of a good bit of significant bit of time, you will feel better, because though the feelings aren't as fresh, and then, you know, like I remember the first girl I went out with, man, I was passionately in love with her. It wasn't an ideal relationship. I knew it wasn't going to last, but I was like, I knew it was not a case of if, but when. But I didn't want to leave her, and then ended up going to New York, and I was like, well, this is my chance to go to New York, and yeah, I think it took me a good fucking year to get over that, to be honest with you, and getting over the breakup with someone, it's fucking difficult, man. So yeah, no, I wish anyone who's going through that the best of luck. But yeah, Tommy Joe, this too shall pass. Best advice ever. You've just got to, right, okay, the thing is, you've got to realise it fucking sucks, man. It sucks. It's painful both mentally and physically. You can't eat. Like I tell you, man, when I broke up with my ex, it happened on the same day I was with my friend when he died. So I went through 2 things that are fucking crazy on the same day. And if I can make it through that, you can make it through anything, man. And never underestimate the power of the mind. If you literally, my mother used to always say, there's a lot of things that my mother used to say to me when I was too young to actually appreciate what those words meant. And she always said, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. Like, my mother was never one of these people who you know, she never told me what I couldn't do. And in fairness to her, like, she was always supportive in every aspect. And there's nothing that I can't speak to her about, you know, and there's things where I was embarrassed to tell stupid shit that I'd done. But I always told her everything. And that's the relationship I have with my kids. And for any of you with partners, kids, or your own parents, you know, you should always make sure that's a bond that you have, or with your partner. Tyler says, go get laid, best medicine. You might cry after they leave, but it helps. Yeah, it's the old saying goes, the best way to get over someone is get under someone else. And yeah, it's like that song, you know, nothing compares to you. I can see any girl I want, but they still remind me of you. So that's the same kind of crack. Lockdown equals no age, lad. Fuck. I can't wait till this fucking shit is done, man. But it's kind of like, you know, it's like I seen Owen Colgan. He was like, oh yeah, he's got a big tour of Ireland in April, and I'm like, nah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I was talking to a friend of mine who's big in, he's big in as a promoter, and he was telling me that all these promoters or these managers and tour managers are approaching them saying, oh yeah, book us in for gigs in April. And they're like, look, you know damn well that we're not going to be doing gigs in April. And he's like, yeah, we know that, but we have to tell the banks that so we can still keep a clean credit rating with them without having to restart everything. So it's basically, the banks know that as well, but it's just something to keep going it right. So you'll see gigs, you'll be like, you know, fucking Guns N' Roses are going to be playing the Hollywood Bowl in fucking April, May. It's not going to happen. So great from man in his mid-30s. What was that? Can't wait till lockdown ends. All the women will be on heat. It's funny. I remember Eugene, the guy who played Big Mick, was saying to me before. I was having a bit of a crisis, going, "Oh fuck, man, I'm in me early 30s now," and he was going, "No, I tell you, some of the fucking best crack I ever had was in my 30s because you have the benefit of wisdom and you still got youth on your side." So that's a benefit from it. I think there's a couple of when I hit 35, man, I got freaked out because I was like fucking hell, man, I'm 35, I'm halfway to 70, and that freaked me out. Chris Cornell also Jade. I actually listened to Chris Cornell that album. That Nothing Compares to You, man. To bring a tear to an old stone. He was a good lad, was old Christine Cornell. Christine Cornell, tonight, the hour grows late. Rachel Coyne, please do a podcast with Big Mick. Yeah, I fucking must get around to it. It's just getting people. It's for me getting the time to do it and to make sure it sounds good. Like sometimes the amount of time that I put into these podcasts, like it takes ages, but like it's worth it. It's a nice way of it's a nice bit of chat for those listening. But on that note, look, all of you as a sound, thanks very much for everyone who stuck it out, and I hope that there was some touchstones of chat that were of use, or if my opinion was of use to you. Look after yourself, and happy New Year to all of you, and I really hope that things are more crack this year than they were last year. That there's a couple of landmark occasions in it, but peace and love to you all, and I mean that sincerely. None of this fucking Ringo Starr's. Peace and love. I wish you peace and love, and much love, and happy New Year to you, and I'll chat to you soon. Chucky or Laura. Good luck. Now, how do I turn this thing off? Hold on a second. Good luck.